Well, we're back in here now. We got some heat, which is awesome. It's about minus 10, minus 12 outside, which isn't too bad. But we've actually got these Premier 80 DFs. Those are really nice. They're going to make everything warm down here. We've got board going in tomorrow into these mech rooms. That was supposed to be yesterday, but I didn't get the heat in here. It wasn't hot enough, and we had some problems getting the board inside. So now you got inside here, these will get boarded all the way up to the ceiling. Ceiling gets sound bar and 2 layers of drywall. Down here, you can actually have this is the IPD. So I don't want to touch that. It looks like you got a bunch of acoustical sealant everywhere, and you touch that, you're never getting it off unless you start rubbing your hands with gasoline, and your clothes are ruined. This here, floor drain. The floor drain is basically just going to get cut down here. And then they send the floor drain cap that goes in. Over here, this white one, if you can have a peek, that's actually our radon pipe. So if we ever want to do radon extraction from down here, that's what we use. This one here is our main stack. So that's all the sewage for all of the house will drain to there. This one here, this is our conduit line. It's a cable. It's going to run right over to where that rebar is sticking out of the ground. And that there is going to be within our island. So this here is going to be the conduit line that runs outside to where the meter base is. Meter base is actually going to run the power through here and up into our panel. If you have a look back over this way, we'll come in. This is the laundry room. The laundry room's going to have a plumbing wall right here. So we're going to build a 2x6 wall off the back. Inside that, this is going to be the other drain. So this will be a secondary drain. And then we'll have the vents running up through the top. Inside here, we'll have our HVAC. So this will be our exhaust for the dryer. That'll go up and out the rim joists. Coming into the bathroom here, same thing. So we'll have another wall here. That's gonna be, it's gonna be a plumbing wall, but it's to shift the whole thing out. We don't really need the plumbing wall here. We could have gone without it, but in order to keep these walls aligned all the way down, we ended up building this out. So instead of being just 60 inches, it's 63 inches. So now we have a wall that's going to build that out. Down here, this is our toilet. That's our toilet there. That's the toilet drain. This is our tub. That'll get installed once everything's all wrapped up. That down there, that's where you get your shower drain. We'll pop back into bedroom 1. These windows should be in probably end of day tomorrow is my guess. Looks like the guys have decided to work inside. Not a bad idea. I got heat on in here. It's kind of cold out. Save it for tomorrow. So we've got inside here, good sized room. Actually quite nice. Full size closets over here. 2 24-inch doors. They're going to pull out. They're not bifolds. Bifolds are a nightmare for being a landlord. They break, they fall off. So these are going to be actual doors with hinges. I'm going to walk through this wall here. Another one, this window will go in as well. These are all casement windows, which are basically they're crank windows. Under here, I've got 32-inch doors. The guys are going to come and open these up a little bit wider. So I didn't like the width of these doors here. Also the closet doors, as per plan, they were a little bit small. Once you saw them on site, I said I gotta change that. There's gonna be a wall here as well. We'll build a wall back here. This is kind of useless space. It'd be really hard to finish that. That's the reason you block that off. Because if you leave that open, you make it difficult for the guys to do the flooring, the trim work, the drywall, the taping, and all the other stuff. So you sort of bring it back out. I still wanted to leave a ton of room back there because these are smaller units, so having storage is going to be important. So we left that as deep as we could. Going up here, actually, we'll just take a quick peek. This is spray foam. So under the front and the rear entrances, we have this spray foam. It's quite thick, and basically that there is just to provide a non-vented space. So it's fully insulated from the outside temperatures. And above this is, if you go back to our previous videos, you can see where we did that black asphalt and the tar. That's right over top of these. Coming over to the kitchen. 2x4 walls on the exterior. The reason we did the 2x4 walls on the basements here is because we don't really need that R value. It's nice in some cases, but we elected for the extra space down here. So we've got that nice, good sized kitchen window. Essentially right under that window is where our sink is going to be. Over here, this is just an island. The island doesn't have anything in it except for outlets. Coming over here, this is where our fridge is going to be. This is a little bit of a tight spot. So just by nature of these units being so compact, we have to get a counter depth fridge. I've got 27 inches to the opening. I'm gonna have another 5/8 for my jam. So that gives me, call it roughly in like that, actually when it's all done with the boards on the outside, it'll be 27 inches. That's about the depth, the counter depth. So with the doors on it, it'll be a little bit longer. We got a little bit of a tight space, but it'll all work out fine. That's about it for down on the basement. So let's head upstairs. Okay, well, we are about wrapped up framing now. We got the plumbers are working on the buildings. Building 1. We're in building 2 right now. Framers are just about to tidy up last little bits. They're going to be back tomorrow too because they have a little bit more going on. Building 1, we should have plumbing wrapped up probably tomorrow, end of day tomorrow. And I've got Friday is when I have HVAC starting in building 1. So 3 days ahead of schedule on the HVAC, which is great. That means we'll be probably 3 days early wrapping it up. I'm going to try to move my electricians in a little bit earlier and see if I can complete all of my mechanical trades sub 4 weeks, including sprinklers. Sprinklers are a big one. So we've got, the way that it works is you do your plumbing first, and then that's because they need to have that slope, they need that direction. HVAC is second most important as far as that goes. They need to find out where their spaces are. Electricians can move wires kind of wherever, so it doesn't really matter. And for the sprinklers, they can sort of set their own place as well. They just sort of take up whatever's necessary because they don't need their grade or their slope. They just need a line. So typically you'll see that the electricians and the plumbers, sorry not the plumbers, but the fire life safety guys, they're kind of interchangeable as far as when they can go. Sometimes they go sooner than the electricians, sometimes they're post-electrical. It really doesn't matter. The only thing is that you have to determine who's responsible at the end for making sure that the electrical wires don't touch the pipes for the fire life safety, because they have these orange pipes, and I forget what the chemical's called, that goes around them, but it's a fire rated chemical. And if it's touching the jacket of the electrical wire, what ends up happening is it can actually, it melts it, just chemical melt. So anyways, you have to basically separate the two of them anywhere they're touching, whether that's wrapping your electrical wire, putting insulation between. The building inspector doesn't care as long as he doesn't see that they're touching. So kind of need to come with me. We're going to walk down this way. Over here, this is going to be rail. So we originally had this as doing a stub wall, but upon review of it, we decided, hey, let's put in some rail. It is going to be a better look. We don't know where the price is going to be, but we know that we're going to try to make it happen in a budgetary sense. So this is good. Everything's looking good on the party wall. We've got all of our handrail backing going down there as well. Up top, you'll notice. So this here is our gable, interior gable for the party wall, and it's got Den's glass on there. So that's a 5/8 Den's glass. So the top of the Den's glass here, you got where it meets the roof sheeting. That's basically where the fire separation has to be up to. It's called underset of sheeting, and that's what we have here. What's going to happen is you see a spot like right here where there's a joint. So that joint needs to be fire taped. So that joint will be fire taped prior to building inspection. That is part of the building inspector's job because he does the fire safety as well. So he does fire ratings and all that kind of stuff. When you look at the rest of the building, there's not a whole lot more as far as what needs to be done for fire safety. Here, let's say for example, I have electrical, and I've got a electrical outlet that's right here. We need to have, There's two ways you can go about it. One is a firebox, which is essentially a dense glass box built around it, and then you fire cock the hole where the electrical line comes in. Or you can do, it's almost like a clay that wraps around, it's a putty pack, but it's like a clay mat that wraps around the back of it. And essentially what happens is if that gets lit on fire or experiences a certain amount of heat, it swells up and seals. So, and you can't have them back to back. So if I had one inside this stud space, I couldn't have one in this stud space or this stud space. Kind of neat. Come with me down here. We got the linen closet. Linen closet. You'll see. Notice it here. That says 3/0. That means that's a 3-foot rough opening. So it's, well, it's not rough opening. It's 14-foot door. So in our case, it's two 18-inch doors. Coming over here. This will get installed here probably Thursday is my guess. That's probably when they're going to jump into here. This is just the main bath. Main bath, you're going to walk in. They are using towel bar backing right in here, but that's okay. We'll get to that. Coming into the bedroom, I'll tell you, the 9-foot ceilings, I wouldn't change that for the world. This makes a huge difference. Everybody's been in a room that has 8-foot ceilings, and you don't think much of it. But these rooms are a little more on the compact side, so having that extra height really, and a large window, really gives you some space. So have a look from over there, just the scope of the size of this window. So it's quite large. I'm not a big guy, I'm only 5'7", but 5'8" on a good day, I suppose. But we've got the window here. It's a huge window. Good sized closets. We opened those up. They're originally spec'd to do two 18-inch doors, man doors, but we've moved that up to two 24-inch doors. That was the right move. That was the exact same thing in this bedroom over here, where the window's yet to be installed. My guess is that's later on today, based on the conversation I had with the framing supervisor. But today, tomorrow, it really doesn't matter. It affects nothing as far as what we're doing. And then right in here, again, you can see we have this marked out. It says 4.0, so that's just, it's roughed out for a 4-foot door. And you don't have a 4-foot door, you have two 24-inch doors, which is 4 feet. So another good sized closet in there. So you can actually see up here, we've got roof vents. And then I want you to pay attention to that orange strap. So the orange strap there is for the roofers. So essentially what that does is it gives them a place to tie off to when they're roofing the roof, when they're putting up the shingles. The other thing that it does is we leave it up there until all of the exteriors are done. Once the gutters are on, then we can cut that off. So we leave that up so that the guys doing the gutters have something they can tie off on. It's just a safety protocol. Nobody wants anybody falling off their building here. I think that's about it for up top, but we're going to take a quick run downstairs. You guys can follow me. So we got all of the ABS pipe here. ABS pipe is essentially what we're going to use for rough-in. This is the important stuff as far as plumbing goes, because you have to have that at the correct slope and be able to drain everything, because water runs downhill, so you have to make sure that you've got enough of the slope. When it comes into running your supply lines, which are your PEX lines, no big deal. You can run them around, put them in a circle, do whatever you want with them because they're pressurized. These are not pressurized, they're just gravity fed, so they have to have a proper slope. But these are the important ones. They're also quite expensive now. I don't remember what the length is, but I do know that it's significantly more expensive than it was 5 years ago. These windows here, obviously really large. You get lots of airflow going through these windows. I mean, we've got, what's that, probably 30 inches by 48, something like that, maybe 45, but tons of space for that. So they do a thing called lockout when this is all complete. So this is technically the building's locked out now, but what you have to do is a window final, sorry, not a lockout. A window final, they'll come through, they peel off all of the wrap that's on the front of the window, and then they also install the screens, any adjustments, things like that that need to be done, which is awesome. Plygem's awesome for that. I've really appreciated working with Plygem in the past because of that. Now, if you come over here, the way that they put this on, you can see there's a little gap, okay? Well, the The painters, when they come in to paint everything, they love having these on here. Then they just cover that up. They just put a piece of tape right in here, and it covers up the whole thing, so they can just spray everything. And I don't have to worry about covering my windows. I've used Durabuilt in the past as well, and I'll say that the non-gem ones are awesome because it just saves so much effort for the painters and for us at the end, because I hate complaining to a painter that they have overspray on all my windows. Nobody likes to have them come back and scrape their windows with razor blades and use chemicals and things. So in any case, these are great windows. I'm very happy with the way they turned out. Coming up here, we've got ones here. This is only a 3-foot door. I think we're gonna end up changing it later on to a 4-foot opening to get the 24-inch. We don't know for sure yet, but that's my guess. It seems a little small for the coat closet. The door price is going to be the same. Everything's really inexpensive to change it right now to change that. The door cost is probably about $15 more between the two doors, so really nominal. It doesn't cost any difference on painters or anything like that. So it's essentially for the aesthetics and the functionality of this, it's going to cost me a couple 2x4s and man, not bad. Come on in here. This is the bathroom. Up on the wall here, I've got, this is not handrail backing, sorry, it's towel bar backing. So towel bar backing here basically just ensures that we're not going to have these towel bars rip out of the walls because they get anchored directly into this lumber. This ceiling up here is going to get dropped down. It's currently 9 foot, but I have to run ducts through the top, and those ducts are going to be supplying heat into the rooms next to us. So this will get dropped down to 8 feet, which is just fine. You're never going to notice that. You'll walk in. I see it all the time and nobody ever notices. Coming down here, this is where your toilet's going to be, and I've got a 27-inch vanity over here. Cabinet market's happen in about 3 days, so we're going to really see how it all comes together. We just finalized a bunch of stuff in Kingswood today, actually. That was really exciting. But we finalized the cabinet selections, pricing too, which was a big one for us. And then we made a couple of little upgrades just to make things a little bit nicer, but we kept them within a budget, conscious sense. So we didn't do anything wild, but we did do two-tone for the cabinets, and then we also extended on the island the gables so that it has a little bit more support, and also just looks better. Down here, this is for your tissue paper holder. So tissue paper holder, those things rip off the walls too if you don't have proper support. It takes nothing for them to put it in right now, and so that's just a spec that our framers, it's part of their scope of work. And I think that's pretty standard across the board right now. If you go to any builder that, or framer that, that knows the way, they just do it. Very simple to put it in right now.